LinkedIn. But rather than finding the individual information, now you're getting the company information, because of course with a company as big as Walmart, you know, you want to see what is important to them for them to share, that they think is important to share with their shareholders. And you'll see as we go through other case studies that a lot of the information when you're looking at the annual reports is going to be super similar, but I'm going to say 35% of the information or 35% of what you're looking for is not going to be similar. It's going to be specific to that particular organization. So as we're looking here, the one thing that I'm looking at initially is the colors, right? You want to make sure that your report, because even though we're talking about data, we're actually doing a data visualization report. And you want the colors, you want the logo to look on your Power BI project or your Power BI report. You want your logos and your color schemes to match. We're talking about down to the nth degree the color schemes that are used by the company. We touched on design looks on a previous lesson. You can go back to that lesson. But if you have any questions in regards to matching colors and logos, colors and grabbing logos, just shoot me a message and I'll get with you, because we didn't spend a whole lot of time on design, because this is not a graphic design class or course, but graphic design is very important. As I look here, I also see in their visualizations, they're using rounded corners. So in your visualizations, think about using rounded corners. You may not have to use all rounded corners, but you want your report to be very similar to theirs, because branding matters. And branding is not just colors, it's not just logos, it's actually, what type of visualization do they use? And we see here that their squares and their rectangles all have rounded corners. I don't know what degree that is. It could be about 6 or 7, 8 point. That's something that you can play with as you're building out your report. The text, we see here that the text, we want to match this font as closely as possible. Hey, I just want to take a few seconds out to say thank you for coming over to the video. And I also wanted to ask you to go over to wherever you buy books and pick up my book, The 6-Figure Cheat Code. That's right. Go over to wherever you buy books and pick up my book, The 6-Figure Cheat Code. So here's the deal. If you're taking my course, Power of the BI, or if you're taking any other course, any other data course or tech course that's out there, and it's probably the first time you've been introduced to tech, and you probably really don't feel like you deserve the opportunities you're going to be receiving when you get that 6-figure opportunity down the road here, listen, all that is imposter syndrome. And in my book, The 6-Figure Cheat Code, I define some ways to handle the imposter syndrome. But trust me, you're going to be ready. You are ready. This opportunity is for you. That 6-figure job that they're offering you that 6-figure opportunity because you deserve it. And therefore, I want you to be ready and understand what's about to come your way. So go over to the site, whatever site you buy books from, and pick up my book, The 6-Figure Cheat Code. Again, thanks for watching the video. Let's get back to the class. Again, if you really want to wow your customer, you want to give them a presentation that's super similar in visual aesthetics as their current document, as their current reports. Now, shortcut. You can ask for their marketing literature and they'll give you the actual color scheme. And a lot of times they'll give you the logo, but you have to. Many times you do have to ask for it. Sometimes they're so specific, and a company as big as Walmart, they may just provide that to you. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's their marketing literature that tell you all the different colors that are approved by their company to use on any report, not just on your report, but any report that their company uses. So remember that. Jot that down, take that note, ask that question when it comes up. Because you do want to know what fonts they use, what colors they use, the logos. And if they have it, they'll give it, they should be able to give it to you. If they're not able to give it to you, you can go back to the previous lesson that we had a while back, and you can grab those colors and the logos. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through and I'm trying to see what information is important to this customer, as far as what could be important information in regards to data that we could build visualizations from. And here, just basic information, registered telephone number, that's not important for us. Documents incorporated, that's not important for us. And now we've got a table of contents, and some of this information we will probably stop on and we will use, but I'm just scrolling through because this is what I would do. If I were going through a brand new customer, and it's calling that customer Walmart, I would come through, I would see what information is important for this particular customer, development of the company, and again, this is all just information here about the company. Looks like aspects of operations. Walmart's business is seasonal to a certain extent. That's just information for the investor. Walmart international segment. Now we're getting somewhere, because now I see that they're about to start breaking this down by segments, competition, distribution. Here we have membership, and this is for the Sam's Club segment. Plus membership is $110. Club membership is $50. Number of add-on memberships is $45 each. Why is that information important? Because this information is important to them, right? Now, those numbers started popping out at me. The plus membership is $110. The club membership is $50. Number of add-on memberships is $45 each, up to 16, up to 8 on the club membership and the plus membership. So here's the deal. This is data this is a visualization that can be created solely for the Sam's Club segment, and that is how many members does the Sam's Club segment have, right? How many members does it have? Now we've got to dive into the database and find that table that shows us how many members the Sam's Club segment have. And at that point, we're only doing a count of the segments. How many of these members are plus members, and how many of these members are club members, right? That's data that we can use on our card visuals if needed. Well, not necessarily if needed, but that's data that we can use on a card visual. The number of plus members, the number of club members. How many plus members did we have last year? How many plus members do we have this year? How many plus members are we projecting next year? Now we're incorporating some AI intelligence into this based on where we are. Same for the club membership. How many club members do we have? How many club members did we have last year? How many club members are we forecasting for next year? Then, how many years of data are we going back? I mean, Sam's Club goes back a long ways. I mean, Sam's was around when I was a kid, right? And I'm from Arkansas, right? I can remember a whole lot about a young Walmart, right? So with that said, how many years back are we going to where we're really comparing this data? Are we going back to 1980? Are we going to 1990? Are we going to 2000? Are we going to 2010? We can be going a long ways. We could be evaluating a lot of data. Now, this is what I want you to understand. And I've said this before in other classes, in other classes, but I want to reiterate. because this is a great example. It does not matter how big a company is. It does not matter how big the data is. The calculations are still calculated the same way, right? The DAX expressions that we use, they're still used the same way. Whether we have 2 rows of data or whether we have 20 billion rows of data. Okay, and 20 billion could be relatively a lot, but let's just say if you got 2 rows of data or you have 100 million rows of data. If you're talking about 1 year or if you're talking about 10 years, if you're talking about 1 year or if you're talking about 50 years, it does not matter, right? Don't get afraid and don't get alarmed about how big the project is or how big the company is, or how much money the company made. Does not matter, right? As long as you do what you know to do, you're gonna be okay. Okay. I'm not gonna beat that dead horse because that's not where we're at. Bottom line is we can count the number of memberships, the number of plus memberships. We can count the number of club memberships. We can count the number of club memberships over the last 5 years or 10 years or 50 years. The number of plus memberships over the last 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. We can create another column and we can say this is the difference in memberships over the last X